This is another bubble sort. This one's a little bit more complex. It's a little bit more efficient. What it does is, as it's going down the list of numbers to sort, this is our unsorted list, as it's going down the list of numbers to sort, a bubble sort, what happens is it keeps bubbling the biggest value to the end of the list. And so what happens is you'll have the biggest value here, the next biggest, like this. And at some point, the list is pretty well sorted. So you don't want to have to keep going all the way to the end because it's already sorted. I mean, why keep going over it and over and over it? So this has some code that what happens is it recognizes when it reaches the place where it's already sorted. The rest of the list is already sorted, and it stops there. Because, again, there's no reason to go over and over and over repeating a sort of something that's already sorted. So it knows how to stop. And that's really the big difference between this and the simple version of the sort. So let's look at the code quickly. I won't go over it in terrible detail. It's very similar to my simple sort. What I'm doing up here is a lot of these variables are to create the random values. So in this window you can see this is the unsorted section up here, and then this is the sorted section. The unsorted section is created with several of these, and then this little bit of code right here. So getting the random library has nothing to do with the bubble sort. The random seed, again, nothing to do with it. The random numbers, nothing to do with it. So we're going to go from 0 to 2560 on our random number set. Our limit is 100 numbers that we're going to create in our example. And then our sort array is where we're going to put stuff. Our switch asking whether the sort is done. So this is that switch that tells me that, okay, I need to stop. And then the row, so that's the index to the array. Here is where we create the random set of numbers to sort. So that's not really part of the bubble sort. And the whole bubble sort is this thing right here. In fact, it's more just like this right here. So we're going to say while switch, so while values are still being swapped, in other words, the last iteration, the program found two numbers to switch, and so it's still going. Switch equals 0, so if no more swapping, switch is equal to 0. Row equals 0, so this resets the index. So this is the index to our array. It sets it back to the beginning. Last swap equals limit. So this is the index where the last swap was made. And this is the thing that is our efficiency thing. So this tells us where to stop. This tells us where everything past this point is already sorted, so we don't need to keep going after to the right of that. And then the code is while row is less than limit minus 1 and row is less than or equal to last swap, which is here. So in other words, stop if we're to that point where we don't need to go any farther. If the sort array row is greater than sort array row, then we're going to just switch these two elements, row and row plus 1. So we're just going to flip those, which is how bubble sort works. Set switch to 1. Last swap equals row. So this is where we can stop if that's the case, and then row equals row plus 1. And then we're going to repeat this until the thing's sorted. We're going to come out and we're going to print the sorted array, and then we're going to print done. And then as from the last one, this is the example of how it works. I won't go through that. So let's punch the button and show that it actually works. Boom, here's our unsorted. You can see these are not sorted. There's all sorts of different values everywhere, and here it's sorted. And yes, duplicates are allowed. You may find the duplicate in here somewhere, but yes, duplicates are allowed. So this is a little bit fancier version of the bubble sort. If you need something quick and dirty and just a few lines of code, yes, it's more than our other example of bubble sorts, but it's not too bad. Need a quick and dirty, not too many values. This bubble sort works rather well. Okay, well that was it. Hope you found that useful and interesting in your Python programming.